When it comes to like the realtor thing, like let's say, because a lot of the people listening here are like beginners. So is that something you'd recommend? Like, hey, like first step, get your realtor's license, or do you think that's like a more advanced thing? I just love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, you do not need a real estate license to succeed. I mean, you're not licensed,
I'm not.
and
No, yeah.
you seem to be doing very well. And then so to kind of fast forward through my beginnings, 2004, 2005, I'm still in college, did 4 deals. I didn't have a license. I utilized the resources available and worked with some pretty sharp people who knew what they're doing. Get those deals, get paid. Fast forward 2011, got married, still not licensed as an agent. I have a full-time job. I'm a sales agent selling vacations online. And so from 2011 through 2014, I'm not licensed. Now in 2014, somewhere in there, I do finally get licensed. And it had been something I'd always planned on doing, but this was the kicker. A local, they call him the legend in Houston, because he's literally flipped like 2,000 houses. Like, so you said 200 is amazing. Just add an extra zero, like 2,000. And on top of that, he owns a hard money company, and they've loaned on way more than 2,000. I forget what that number is, but he's got his hands in a lot of deals. And he told me, I'd asked him, like, this was my strategy going to networking meetings. And I always tell new folks this: if you're going to go to a networking meeting, pick several, go to them consistently throughout the month, every single month, find the host or someone of like that you know is successful, and bring one question, just one, because you don't want to bug them, just one question that you'll ask them, and then you'll, over 12 months, you'll accumulate a lot of wealth of knowledge. So that's what I did. And then I was at the meeting. I asked him, hey, what do you think about getting your real estate license? And he told me, I paraphrased something to the effect of, if you want to be a professional in this business, you need to get a license. It'll never hurt you. It can only add value. So at that point, I just needed to make a decision. Like, do I really want to be a professional in this business? And I did. So I chose to get my license. Now, whether you personally get it, whether you have a business partner or a spouse that gets it instead, all that can be done. So it's not required to be successful, but it can only add value. That's my opinion. That's one of my unofficial mentors' opinion. And, that's kind of how I answer that question.
No, I like the advice as well. Like when you go to RIAs, like go to multiple times. I see a lot of people, they show up once, like, oh, it wasn't helpful. Like, but you get a lot of more value, meet more people, like the more you go and the bigger you build your network. But I want to dive deeper into what you said there. So it can't hurt you, it can only help you. So what are some of the ways like it can actually help you?
Well, let's go back to the ways that people think it can hurt you, because that's the number one reason why, or not the number one reason. Most people who say, I don't want to get my license because, and that because is, I don't want to disclose. I'm like, okay, well, what do you not want to disclose? Like that you're a real estate agent? Because you would have to do that. Is that bad? Like, because this is what I say. I'm licensed by the state of Texas. I've had a background check. I'm not some guy who took a weekend boot camp and is just trying to tie up a property and steal your equity. I say that. Now, I've thrown out some landmines to a lot of people that's probably calling them. And I put a little bug in their head. So that's not really an excuse. Now, what really people are talking about is I would have to disclose value. And my response to that is, and of course, defects and all this other stuff is one, for defects, just because you're not licensed, you're not you still have to disclose that. Like if you own a property, and so this, you have to give a seller's disclosure according to state laws and federal laws to the end buyer. And I had just like a week ago, someone telling me that because they weren't licensed, they didn't have to do that. And I was like, no. Like, that's how you get sued. Like, not only me as a flipper, I get it from the buyers, from the sellers that I'm buying properties from. I make them fill that out because that's CYA. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to fill out my own to the end buyer. And then sometimes I'll give them both. I'll give them the copy I got from my buyer and the new one, double CYA. So you have to disclose that. But beyond that, I think that one of the biggest concerns people have is disclosing value. And my argument to that is like, one, like if you really want to be kind of like shady where you are stealing people's equity because they really truly are ignorant and they do not know. Okay. Then yeah, maybe you don't want to be. Or most people know anyway. They know their home is worth a lot more than they're selling it to you. They just don't want to do the work. Like they know if they put in 50 grand and replaced all the flooring and got it like from 1960s to 2020 quality, they could sell that, and they know the market's hot. Like anyone who has like got any type of connection with social media or has looked at a newspaper lately, know the real estate market is hot right now. They know that they'd be able to sell it. They'd be able to sell it quickly. Zillow's telling them, Open Doors telling them. Like 500 wholesalers and investors are reaching out to them. They know this stuff. At the end of the day, they don't care because if they're going to sell it at a discount, it's because they don't want it. And at that point, who's going to be able to get them the best deal? It's not that that's not important, and who they know, like, and trust.